Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Superstar PartyPlex. I'm MJ, and today I will be playing the Harlequinette, and I am joined by.
Hi, I'm Zen, and today I will be playing Eggs Florentine and possibly also Handy, but I don't know what it has to add to this conversation.
It has so much to add, probably.
Oh, probably. We'll see.
Today's a very special episode, The Telltale Heart. And I do believe we began with Harlequinette coming back to the prize corner from their security patrol.
hmm Yeah, it's like near the start of the night shift, I think, so that's like the 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. patrol. And, as they come back to the prize corner, I don't think you have to roll perception because there is very clearly someone standing at the prize corner.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, Harlequinette, you have to imagine, like, I imagine they're coming and crawling in on the ceiling, actually. And, like, they're gonna do their, like, normal routine of hopping down from the ceiling back onto the floor, and then they pause as they clock there's someone else in here. And then they clock that, oh, it's Eggs Florentine. And Eggs, I'm assuming you see this giant-ass clown on the ceiling?
Probably. He's keeping an eye out for them, so.
Yeah. Uh, you see them notice you, and they had their smile on their face, and like the corners of it kind of flicker down. You can roll insight if you'd like.
Of course, I would like to roll insight. 17?
So yeah, with a 17, you kind of get the vibes that they're like mildly disappointed to see you. Like
Oh, this guy again.
this guy, this guy. Oh no, like. Kind of like they assume seeing you here now means that nothing good is about to happen. Like, not in like a like you're gonna cause trouble way, but kind of in a you're gonna like do something that's it's gonna be a tense, awkward thing probably.
Hey,
And like I think you can see them glance over their shoulder, like maybe they can still make an escape before responsibility kicks in and like continue coming down from the ceiling.
yeah. I feel like he sort of watches them as they come down from the ceiling and walk up, sort of impassive. I mean, they can roll insight too if they want.
Yeah, they're gonna roll insight. They want to know what the fuck is up, and they're gonna ask him that in a second. But if they can just sense it off of him, then 11.
11. I feel like with an 11, you don't get very much. He's trying to keep a put together facade and a straight face, and you're not getting much of anything from him emotions wise. He's composed.
Oh dang it, he's composed. Honestly, it also might just be that Harley Quinnette's a little bit too distracted by their inner turmoil of just kind of dreading whatever comes next. They're hoping it's just regular business stuff, you know? Like, oh, maybe this is about the security notice for the Rainbow Rabbit's recent return, and not anything about anything else in the basement.
Oh, Harlequinette, you optimist.
I feel like Harley Quinn kind of like as they're approaching, they kind of like fiddle with some of like the plushes, like reset setting up the various displays as if that will delay the inevitable. As they kind of awkwardly stiltedly say, "So, hello, Officer Florentine. What brings you here tonight?"
Well, I'm sure you've seen the note that the Rainbow Rabbit left by now.
I think you can almost feel a sense of relief wash up with them. Like, oh, it is just business. It is just business. Yay. And like they nod and finally turn to really look at you and say, "Yes, that's very problematic development, isn't it?"
Problematic feels like a very understated way of putting it.
Oh, if I say it any other way, I'm gonna start freaking out.
I mean, maybe it would be a good time to start freaking out.
Probably, but as head of security, well, not head of security, as one of the security clowns, I mean, I'm trying to think rationally about it, and freaking out at this current moment in time won't help much. Mostly because I don't know where she is. Once I see her, though, I can just deal with her and whoever her friend is.
Oh, you've got no idea who this friend is or where they might be.
Here's a question. I think Harlequinette was shown the note, but has anyone actually mentioned that Hairwire was part of it?
I don't know, but I feel like Harlequinette would
Okay,
recognize the
Kestrel would have.
handwriting at least.
Kestrel would have, says Pengu. So we met a night terror. Okay, yeah, that definitely, like, changes how Harlequinette would respond. It's her, like, their face tightens a lot and they say, I'm working on it. I'm figuring out who it is. And why they would be helping someone like the Rainbow Rabbit.
Hmm, I think Eggs kind of just looks at them for a second and is like, I don't think you're as good a liar as you think you are.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Harlequinette has had their smile kind of plastered on their face, but it's clearly been like a strange smile that kept dipping as they were talking, and now it just fucking disappears into a little, like, flat notch as they're staring at you. I think how Harlequinette would respond. I think in a way they're just staring at you, waiting for you to elaborate, sir.
In that case, after a little bit of silence, how he will elaborate is, come on, your friends in the basement? I'm surprised no one else has made the connection by now, but you have to know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, Harlequinette lets out, like, a breath of air, and it's just sort of like, oh, that's the word I was looking for. And kind of like stares you down for a second before, like, that little tight line their mouth was in turns into a frown as they look away. It's it disturbs me that you know about them, frankly, but I can't say it's entirely surprising because, well, we got around a lot. Uh, Look, I know you probably don't trust me or the words I'm about to say, but I have been trying to keep an eye on the others, and I am just as confused and concerned as you are that one of them might be helping an attempted kidnapper, and I don't know why. I haven't spoken to them about it yet. I've been trying to figure out a way to approach it that won't make it worse.
You can understand why I'm skeptical about hearing that. Apparently, they've been here for what? 4 years, 5 years.
Quite some time, but you have to think in all that time they haven't caused any trouble. I haven't caused any trouble. They just started acting up recently, and maybe the Rainbow Rabbit has something to do with it.
Have you ever considered that maybe they're not going to get better?
I got better.
You got better, and look what it took. And if they've been through all that and 5 years here, and they're still running to help a fucking kidnapper. What more can be done to try to snap them out of it?
Harlequinette eyes widen at the look what it took thing. It's like, look what it took? Elaborate on that, please, sir. And I think they kind of have gone around behind the prize corner counter and are kind of like have put their hands on it and are just staring at you.
Well, if it hadn't been for the fire, you probably would still be running rampant over Anqua, wouldn't you?
Oh, at that, Harlequinette can't help it. The their fingers sharpen out into claws and they sort of like drag on the countertop and they say, "You know about the fire."
He nods.
You, who are you? Who did you said it?
Hmm?
Did you said it?
Hmm.
Choose your answer carefully, egg boy.
You want to roll a contesting insight against that?
Oh, I'm not sure if I can be. Oh boy. That was such a good roll on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, contesting insight. Come on, luck. Come on, luck.
Oh,
22.
close, but no dice.
Hold on, do I have anything they could cast or use? Probably not. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna say they haven't sniffed you out yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he just responds with, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I stay pretty well up to date on the news, especially when it comes to the night terrors.
Yeah, Harlequinette. Their frown tightens back up into a line. They're squinting at you. And for a second, like their pupils manifest, and you can see them kind of glancing around as if, I don't know, looking for trouble, looking for backup. Like they are clearly nervous and on edge now.
Mm-hmm.
Their pupils resettle on you, and they go, "That's you must have a vested interest in us, then."
You could say that. Look, I'm not going to hurt you, and I don't want to mess up what you have going here for yourself. You seem to have genuinely turned things around. I don't want to mess that up for you. But I can't just let the others hurt people anymore.
They haven't hurt anyone for 5 years. You just
Until they did.
till
Or
they
at least.
they haven't hurt. As far as I know, they haven't severely injured anyone. I suppose I can't rule out anything. Look, I know we're monsters. I know what we've done is unforgivable. We've ruined a lot of lives. We've ended a lot of lives. But I have to have faith that they can change. If I can change, they can change. I just have to find their their answer. My answer came after the fire. I learned how to be responsible. I had been a follower. I finally had to step up and be a leader, and that changed me for the better. I just have to find something like that for the others.
And in the meantime, before you find that, you're just going to let them, what? Team up with the kidnapper, terrorize people. For how
I'm not
long?
going to let them do. I'm going to deal with it. I'm just trying to figure out the way to approach it because maybe they don't know the full situation, or maybe they are not in their right minds. I just have to figure out a way to. I don't know. don't know why they're doing this. I don't know if it's all of them or just one of them. I thought they were doing better.
Did you really? Or did you just hope they were doing better?
Oh boy. I think like Harlequinette snaps her head up to pin this this officer Florentine with a glare. You don't sound like you particularly want them to get better, frankly.
No, not that. It's just after 15 years, I don't think they're going to get better.
Dude, that's a that's quite specific. Wonderful insight on Harlequinette again.
Sure. Oh, a 9. Dice parser.
Yeah, well, they're clearly chewing on your words a lot, but other than panic and frustration with this, it's hard to tell what's going on in their brain at the moment.
No.
I think Harlequinette kind of stands back up from leaning on the counter, and it's sort of like their arms are kind of dangling at their sides. They're slightly hunched. Their like pupils are still there and glancing around in thought, and like Harlequinette is like this person knows a lot about the night terrors, including like how long the night terrors have been active in a way that shouldn't really be possible unless someone was there from the start, and the only person they can think of is, well, someone they didn't think they'd ever see again.
Mm-hmm.
I, I, I I'm sorry. I think maybe tonight isn't the night for such a conversation. I'm just going to go and.
No. We've. I've been putting this off for long enough, and we have to figure out what to do about the others. You've been
You
putting
don't
it
have
off
to do
for
anything.
5 years, apparently.
Just leave it to me, and I'll handle the situation. And eh,
You've been handling
yeah.
the situation for 5 years now, and they're still acting out now. I don't think I want to leave it to you to handle this.
What's your solution going to be? Because it sounds a lot like. Forgive me if I'm still suspicious about even the whole fire thing. I. Officer Florentine, I don't know who the fuck you are. I kind of have a. Oh wait, they can't curse. That just comes out as a very tonally wrong little bleep blurb sort of thing. Actually, I think that makes them shut up because they just ruin the moment. It kind of snaps them back to reality in a way as they kind of like bring a hand to their mouth and say, "Oh right, PartyPlex. Ah, not a place for swearing and not a place for kidnappers or night terrors. Or look, I'm getting a little frustrated. I can't blame you for being against us. No matter who you are, even if my suspicions, which I can't tell if I'm being insane to think this or horribly, horribly correct. Uh, even if you are someone I knew in the past or just a random individual, I understand why you feel this way about us, but I assure you I am trying, and I do think they had made improvements. They're just backsliding a little bit, and I just need a little bit more time and a way to figure out how to stop them from being insane.
Oh, that's all, is it? Once you just figure out how to stop them from being insane, then everything will be fine. Not exactly an easy task, is it?
It's not. I'll admit it, it's not. But what is the alternative other than apparently setting them on fire? In saying that, their teeth finally manifest, and their face turns into a scowl at you.
Well, apparently setting them on fire didn't really work that well, so I wouldn't even consider that an option, really.
Right, right. If fire didn't work, then let me ask you, what do you think will, other than just talking them down, since apparently they can't die? I can't die, apparently.
I feel like one failed murder attempt isn't enough to know that for sure.
I'm going to kill you. No, I'm not meaning that literally. I'm not meaning that literally. I just. You. I, you really.
Doesn't
So
really
it
work
wasn't
so
just
well.
trying to hurt us, it was trying to kill us. You admit to that.
Sure.
Harlequinette, in a single step, uh, steps on to the top of the counter and kind of crouches down like a fucking cat about to pounce and just glares down at you.
Eggs is glaring right back. Look, you admit yourself you were running all over Inkwell terrorizing people for 10 years. The fire snapped you out of it. If it hadn't happened, you would have gone right on terrorizing people, wouldn't you?
It's like it takes a second for those words to sink in, and then Harlequinette loses a little bit of their fire and breaks eye contact again.
It seemed like a better alternative than letting someone catch you and lock you all up again.
Harlequinette winces at that, and then like their eyes open in realization, and they look at you and go, "Oh my god, my suspicions are right, aren't they?" And they squint and kind of lean towards you, and you can see their eyes looking you up and down. And they lean back again and go, "You, Luke?"
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of a disguise is not to be recognized.
Harlequinette's face is kind of frozen in shock, honestly. And then they just slowly climb down from the counter and duck behind the counter. And it takes a second, and then you just see them slowly crawling away from out the other side.
Hey, that, uh, that doesn't mean we're done talking about this, okay?
I know, just give me a second. And you see them like grab a stuffed animal from one of the counters and just like put it to their face, and you just hear a muffled scream. You hear like them catching, huffing as they catch their breath, and finally they put it back, stand back up, wipe their face, but they're turned away so you can't see if it's tears or just trying to get themselves back in order. And then they turn back around and look at you and say, "I kind of wasn't prepared for this tonight. don't think I was ever prepared for this. It's it's been a while.
Yeah, another understatement.
I'm very good at those apparently.
Hmm.
So, ha, uh, you you lit us on fire. That's uh maybe warranted considering what we did to you.
It wasn't about that.
Oh,
I maybe I deserved it, but all those
no,
other people.
no, you did not. We were out of turn. We were looking, but I don't even know why we did that. Frankly, I none of us were in our right minds, and you didn't deserve it. And it was a horrible evil that we did to you, and I don't think there's any way we could ever make up for it.
Yeah, well, I wasn't exactly treating you nicely before uh, before he took you. So
It, what I think we were all rather sore after 2 years of being rejected by you and unintentionally starved, but you what we did to you was paramount to torture, and if anyone deserved torture, it should have been Robert.
well, no point in talking about it now.
I part of me wants to beg a differ. Another part of me kind of wants to jump out the nearest window, so what uh
Like I said, the fire wasn't about that. I just couldn't stand by and watch you keep hurting people anymore.
we they can't staple their fingers in front of their face, thinking very hard, and since like I in a weak voice, frankly, I would like to state for the record that we technically didn't mean to murder anyone. We would just get a little bit overambitious with the fear and heart attacks would result sometimes.
It's not just about killing people, Harlequinette. Terrifying them, terrorizing them, scaring them, even if you didn't kill them. That's not any way to treat people.
I know that now. I didn't, I don't. And Harlequinette can feel a heart beating in their chest rapidly, and they're shaking slightly and having a hard time making eye contact with Eggs, and they say, I know that now. I don't know why we acted that way, or I do know why. It wasn't rational. I think we were just so convinced no one was ever love us that we cemented it as reality. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy. No one would love us, so no one was willing to give us love. So why would we even bother being lovable? So how would we get emotion to eat other than by fear?
And you think you can talk them out of that?
I managed to get out of it. Maybe I'm still a little bit crazy, but I have to have faith they can get better. They're my family. You, I just, wouldn't it be nice to have a future where the dreamers are back? Not the night terrors, but the dreamers, and they're different, but they're themselves again.
You know, I spent a long time wishing for that too. but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I think at those words, Harlequinette looks sad, but then they get a little bit mad again, and they kind of look at you and go, "But you hadn't seen us in 15, 10 years, I suppose, at the time of the fire. You never. In those 10 years, I can't blame you for never coming to see us, but apparently you knew where we were enough to set a fire. Why didn't you try to talk to us? Why was the fire your first action?"
You know, you knew where I was too. None of you ever came. And for the first year, for the second, even, for the third, maybe, I would have loved to see you. I would have tried to talk. But following the trail of destruction you left from news reports and everything, didn't really give me a lot of chances to get ahead of you. By the time I figured out how to make sure you would stay someplace long enough, well, heard about a lot of awful things you did.
Uh, yeah. Harlequinette looks like they've been fucking beaten into the ground. Just like I mean, it just their face is etched into a deep, deep frown. Just they're staring at you like a kicked puppy. Maybe even something more pitiful than that, frankly. I think Harlequinette slowly looks towards the ground and just nods. If I was in your shoes, I probably would have done the same. It just,
But you won't do the same now.
I got better. They have to be able to get better. I think they place like a hand on their chest and they can feel the heart beating within it. They just sort of clench their fist on their chest and they kind of glance around, feeling a bit like the walls are closing in and said, "But you said earlier you wouldn't ruin my place here, right?"
No, everyone says how nice you are despite the scares, and Trick vouched for you, so if you really aren't string along anymore, there's no reason to wreck what you've got going here.
Oh, that's a mild relief, but you do know others cannot learn about the other's night terrors if they. I mean, they kind of already have, but I mean, I don't. I fear if they learn my connection to the others, then I'm doomed.
Are you planning to tell other people about your connection to them? I'm not.
I would love to avoid it. I would love to avoid this whole situation. Perhaps I've been a fool. I certainly looked like one, but I really thought they would just keep staying under the radar and slowly get better.
Yeah, I think I'm all burnt out on hoping.
That's fair. I still can't apologize to you enough for what happened that night. I suppose I haven't really apologized yet, have I? I just feel like nothing I could say would really be worthwhile. I can't give you. I can't give you your heart back.
He like shakes his head a little. It's I'm way past the point of caring about that. Okay. It wasn't your idea.
Eh, I feel like it's a fair thing to care about. How has mine been suiting you, at least? Serving you well, I hope? And with that,
Oh, are we going to the second title card now?
I think we're going to the second title card now.
I'm going to front row seats. I
Chet's
want to see the
going nuts.
reactions. There's the people exploding.
There's people exploding all around us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't worry, everybody. It gets worse.
Yeah.
It's swearing.
uh, back to the conversation. I think Luke is like,
Mhm.
I don't really like to think about it.
That's fair. That's more than fair. That's I. So. I mean, I'm glad to see what we did worked in keeping you kicking. I'm gonna
Oh,
be
are
honest.
you?
I had my doubts. Once we left the house.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good to hear. Cause it didn't really work as well as you wanted it to. I think.
Uh, what?
Now it's my turn to grab art.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Cause yeah, Luke's a little bit pissed to hear that, and he's going to pull off his mask.
Oh! Oh, the cringe that falls upon Harlequinette's face. Oh, oh, yeah, you're purple. That's not normal.
No, it's not. Although I don't think anything about me is normal anymore.
It it uh, wow. Excuse me, I'm gonna go find the nearest window now. And they just start walking.
He gives an exasperated sigh and puts his mask back on.
I think they managed to like make it almost to the door and then turn back around and walk back. No, 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 I'm gonna face this. Uh, I, you, did we turn you into a zombie?
He cringes a little at that word. Something like
That, something like that might be the only, words that exist for what you are now. A little real, a little fake. Mm, well, I mean, this is, well, I think I'm out of words, honestly.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think Harlequinette is playing back like this entire like encounter in their mind, and suddenly their eyes open up a little bit again, and they go, "Hey, you've talked to Chick. You said Chick vouched for me earlier."
He nods. Yeah, she did.
Oh, she is she aware of the whole? And they kind of like gesture to his face.
No, she doesn't need to know about this. It's not her
Okay,
fault.
it's probably like not her fault at all. Really, it's she's. I'm sorry. I regret. I. I'm gonna be honest. That night is a bit of a blur due to all the being cut in half business stuff that I was going through at the time. But I am sorry I took her. I don't know if that was the best move in the long term. She was just crying, and I was sad for her, and I couldn't just let her sob. And Hairwire said looking at you was hurting her or something like that. So I thought,
Nothing you can do about it now. She could have come back if she wanted to.
yeah, I guess she could have, but we left you all alone.
You did.
She she probably would have stuck with you if I hadn't. And um, uh, well, yeah, nothing we can do to change it.
No. I'm glad at least one of you is doing better, though.
Yeah. I am glad I'm doing better too, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to help the others, but I have to try. You must understand, I have to try. I have to keep trying. I cannot just give up on them.
That you could give up on me.
I frankly, I kind of feel like you gave up on us first. But I know that's not entirely true. It's just how I feel. What did I tell you on that night? I know I said something to you. I was quite in a state. Something about we don't hate you, but we're not quite your friends anymore. That's just. I'm not saying that to bring up a cruel memory. I'm just saying that because that's what I thought at the time. I thought we weren't your friends anymore by your decree.
Yeah, you didn't really give me a lot of room to apologize back then.
We really didn't. But to be fair, I don't think you would have apologized until we were taken. Last I saw you before Robert whisked us away, you were just doing what you had been doing for the last 2 years and just shoving us away. And I
I
know
told
we
you.
were cruel to you as well, I know.
And I told you to leave. And I'm
And
sorry
you
for
told.
that. And I would have told you that 15 years ago if you'd let me.
Sorry we never gave you the chance to.
Yeah, well, What happened happened.
Yeah. Well, it happened. We can't change the past, but I would still like to think I can change the future to something at least vaguely reminiscent of a happy ending. I don't know if we deserve one, but I'd like to think it's still possible.
That would be nice.
And just to alleviate a concern I'm sure you have, yes, push come to shove, I would kill our family to make sure that no children were hurt.
Well, when you say it that way, it sounds a lot worse.
How much worse could it be? This it's a fact, isn't it? They're both being put through the fucking ringer right now, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Look, I still don't want them to know I'm here. I don't really
I would.
know what they'd do if they found out.
I don't think they would hurt you, Luke, but I agree that it's probably best you remain anonymous. I'm in a better mental state, and I still had a few compulsions I'm not entirely proud of. Uh,
Oh?
well, I mean, I did threaten to murder you slightly earlier, but I suppose that was before I knew for sure. But I had my suspicions, but I'm not going to kill anyone. Or, I kind of be honest. I feel like the rainbow rabbit is up for debate, morally speaking, whether I'll stay committed to not killing anyone. She might be the exception. I'm not making myself better sound better, am I? I'm, uh, I'm losing it. I'm gonna go scream into a plushie again. Excuse me. Just one. Grab like an extra large Razzie plushie and scream into it again.
Luke waiting back at the counter. Andy, like, well, I mean, this isn't the worst it could have gone.
You actually hear Quinn's neck audibly snap as they turn their head around to stare at Handy with wide eyes, like they just remembered Handy exists and goes, "Oh my god, you made a new one."
I did not! Oh my god, Trick said the same thing.
I'm sorry. The well, Handy, Handy is its name, right? Yeah, right. I'm remembering that right. Uh,
Yeah.
you. I mean, you're. I. If it resulted from your magic, why wouldn't it be one of us?
One, I don't do the whole eating emotions thing. And two, I feel like that's a club that closed about over a decade before I existed.
I'm just imagining Harlequinette standing there lamely holding a Razzie Teddy under their arm, staring at Handy like there's a fucking buffering wheel above their head. Huh, yeah, that checks out. But there could be a new name. For things that result from Luke's magics that don't eat emotions, like uh,
It's
we'll
just
workshop
Musafor.
something.
I don't need a special cutesy little name for what I am.
Okay. And secretly in their head, they're categorizing Handy as a new wave of dreamer.
Andy groaning. Uh, X is just standing there vaguely embarrassed.
I think Harlequinette is just standing there vaguely embarrassed as well. I mean, I'm not sure if vaguely embarrassed even encapsulates all their feelings. I frankly think Luke is getting like a fucking like an ocean of different emotions coming out of this clown too fast to fully clock. It's just like racing thoughts and emotion for him.
Actually, do you want to roll an insight on him?
I would love to roll an insight. Frankly, this has been a fairly roll light game. We're just letting these clowns go to town.
No, that's a different FPS we haven't had yet.
25.
Yeah, with a 25, like as Harlequinette like thoughts are racing and like they're feeling everything all at once, they can see Luke is visibly a little bit overwhelmed and kind of taking a step back and like yeah, something is overwhelming this guy that does not appear to be immediately like the conversation or something, so
Yeah,
if
I
Harlequinette makes
think.
that jump or not, who knows? That's up to you.
I think they notice him looking overwhelmed, and at first their brain is like, "Well, this is a very overwhelming moment for us all, I think." And then they said like, "But wait a fucking second." In their mind, they can curse as much as they want. Uh, I'm gonna roll intelligence to see if they connect those dots. Is this normal man able to sense emotions? You figure it out, Harlequinette. 6. No, they
Yeah!
brush it off as like completely out there. Like, surely not. Surely not. Surely just because they have a night terror, he has a night terror brain and night terror parts and a night terror heart. He can't eat emotions, can he?
I want to give Harlequinette advantage. They did roll a 25 on insight.
I I can do it again. Maybe it's like that's ridiculous, but then wait a second. Wait, he does have all those body parts in him. They are considering the idea again. 14. They are slightly more convinced that that could be the case.
Hmm, it's not a sure thing, but
I think you can see like they kind of have tapped their chin and are kind of looking at you with not suspicion but ponderance. And then I think they kind of like lift up a finger and slowly point at you and say, "Can you feel what I'm feeling?"
more or less, yeah.
Huh. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense with the whole brain swap and gut swap and bone
Yeah.
swap and
Yeah,
nerve
I mean,
swap and
you
heart
don't
swap
have to
and
you don't have to fucking list everything, okay? I get it. I'm more of a night terror than a person.
I'm not doing it to be cruel. I'm just calculating. Oh, I forgot to mention the eye swap, didn't I? I mean, the eyes are cool with the purple skin. Uh, I might have to go scream into a plushie again for a third time, actually. I think I keep talking into making a fool of myself. Just a joke. I think at this point, Quinn's kind of just rocketed into a state of, this is so surreal, I'm not actually acting like a normal person. Just,
Luke is standing there, not amused.
you can just see like Harlequinette slowly deflate as they clock the unamused look. I think it's like they get little blush marks of embarrassment on their face. Sorry.
I get that it's all new information to you. I'm the one that has to actually deal with it. So if you could not freak out like it's something happening to you, that would be nice.
Sorry. I'm am making this more about myself, aren't I? I just uh sorry.
Anyway.
We're both just standing there awkwardly, just like
uh,
I feel like you could hear a pin drop in the room they're in.
so we've got all that out of the way at least.
Harlequinette nods, deciding it's probably best not to talk since they keep putting their own foot in their mouth.
Look, if you think you can talk them out of it, then go talk to them. But I'm not going to stand around and wait another 5 years to see if maybe they snap out of it.
That's fair. I'll I'll talk to them. I don't know how I thought I was keeping a good enough eye on them. I mean, I guess it makes sense. She clearly operates in the basement. They probably encountered each other somehow. I don't know how many of them she's talked to, if it's just one. I mean, Kestrel informed me it was like night terror, a night terror. It was a night terror suggests just one, and I kind of have my suspicions which one. And well, I
Yeah.
kind of assume you could probably guess which one as well.
If nothing's changed in 15 years, then yeah, I have a pretty good idea.
He, yeah. Um, Hairwire gets bored.
Oh,
I
does
don't think
he?
he would be killing anyone, not kids. That's too much. I mean, the way. Let's be frank here, Robert is too similar to Robert to me to be someone that Hairwire would willingly work with unless he's under a false assumption that she's
Oh, yeah, and
just somehow different.
he could never be deluded or following some sort of false train of logic. We all know how sane, rational he is.
Yeah, he's a piece of work. You might have heard there was a rogue endo that kind of ruined a few birthday parties. That was him. Uh,
Oh,
I was
so it's more
hoping
than just the once that they've
it,
been
but he didn't
making
hurt anyone
friends.
that time. I'm fairly sure he just disturbed some people. I gave him a talking to after that. I think it was in one ear and out the other.
But when you try to talk them out of it and into being sane, that's going to work.
It's kind of why I'm afraid to deal with it. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how best to approach it in a way that pulls him back from this dangerous edge of being too far gone to help without accidentally pushing him over it because of how his brain seems to work. I'm sure if he knew that kids were actually in danger, he wouldn't. I mean, it's too similar to what happened with us, right?
So
An
tell him
adult
that.
luring kids into a situation.
So fucking tell him that.
Yeah. I want to roll insight on Harlequinette.
Sure. 15.
Well, you get a Harlequinette. They're still holding that raspberry. They're holding on to it. They're clearly a little bit afraid to confront Hairwire, not out of fear of Hairwire necessarily, but just nervousness. They were for a long time just kind of one of the gang, you know? The star of the show, not the leader or anything like that. And Hairwire was kind of the leader of the pack in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Your best friend, first dreamer, the night terror that seemingly led the charge in doing all that fucked up shit to you. Maybe there's still a part of Harlequinette that can't help but be a little bit of a follower to Hairwire. Not like like following him into doing bad stuff, just wanting Hairwire to be better than he really is.
Look, you're kind of in charge of security, right?
Kind of. There's this Bailey. I don't think she's very good at her job, but I can't say that to her face.
But you tell other security guards what to do.
Yes.
And you don't want Rah Rah to hurt anyone. You want to
Yes.
protect the kids here.
Mhm.
You don't want them to be scared.
I don't want them to be scared. That's correct.
Who do you think is better has to face something scary, you or the kids?
Me. I know it's I just need to I just I don't know, he Hellfire is my older brother. It's just I want him to be better, and I'm worried I'll make him worse by confronting him about this, and I feel like we're on ice right now, and I don't want him to plunge underneath, but maybe he already is.
Bun Bun was your older brother. Hairwire, can you honestly say that that's the same person?
It is. It
Is
is.
it?
I was Puppy. I was String Along. I am Harlequinette. A name change doesn't change the person underneath. It's psychological.
He was very insistent that he wasn't Bun Bun when he was ripping me open.
He he's very insistent. He wasn't Bun Bun now, but in the dream realm, sometimes the subconscious takes control, and I can see that there's Bun Bun right there. And if Bun Bun still exists somewhere deep inside him, then he can be Bun Bun again, or someone new. But there's just the problem of his mind.
Luke is kind of giving Harlequinette this, like, withering look.
Harlequinette kind of shies underneath it. Like, I'm not making much sense, am I?
There's not room anymore for you to be worried, for you to be second guessing yourself. I'll give you the chance to handle this, but if you don't, I'm going to handle it my way, and I think you can guess what that entails.
I, I know. I think I can guess. And I can't say I'm very happy about it.
I'd imagine not, but I don't think I care about that.
Yeah. Luke, I don't think you're in the wrong. But there's a part of me that feels like I could kick you out of this building before you can do anything, so maybe just think twice.
like I said, I'm going to give you the chance to handle it first. Just actually handle it.
I'll try. I really will give it a try. What sort of result do you want here? I know I won't be able to snap them completely back to themselves in just the amount of time it takes. I'll try and make sure they don't follow Rara into whatever business she's doing. I can't say I'm going to be able to turn them into good people overnight.
Just make sure they're not going to hurt anyone else.
I'll try. I'll try.
And that
I might.
includes scaring people half to death.
They haven't done that in a while. They might have done that. Well, Hairwire might have if he's the one working with Rara, but overall, all of them have been fairly good. They actually, did you hear? I'm not happy they did it, but Night Owl did an illusion, and some of the dwellers at the PartyPlex got involved, but no one was scared. They had. Jackie told me about it. They threw a joust, and it was actually a fun. I. I'm still horrified that it happened, but nothing bad happened, so that gave me a little bit of hope. And a headache, but
Well, that explains the book that we found. That wouldn't happen to be the night I went looking for them and you spent following us around and fucking with us.
uh, that would be the one. It's kind of funny. I just wanted them out of the basement so no one would find them, and then they went to the racetrack, but then Speedway, I mean, and then they were found anyway by 3 whole people and did all that, and yeah, I'm not thrilled with how that night went. I'm sorry for wasting your time in the basement, by the way, but I didn't know who you were, and I didn't know. I thought you were just a guy who didn't know anything about us, who had noticed something while I wasn't paying attention, and I just thought I could make you think you were mistaken, or. Well, and then you said some things that made me realize, oh crap, you know what's going on, and then I thought I could. I don't know what I was thinking, I just was panic mode.
Yeah, not a great look for you.
uh. Yeah. If anything, the others probably looked better that night with the whole throwing a fun little joust and no one got hurt.
I guess that's a good sign. I mean, I hadn't heard anything about you since the fire until, well, seeing you in the news. So,
When did
I
I
guess
get in the news?
the whole
Panicking they did something without realizing.
no, the whole Rara almost being caught thing. You like gave a statement.
Oh yes, I remember. Sorry, that really didn't clock as me on the news. That was about Rara, but I suppose it showed my face, didn't it?
Yeah.
I can't imagine flipping through channels and then suddenly seeing this face again. That it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
You can roll insight.
Yeah. Harlequinette in the back of their mind thinking, if I had never shown up on the news, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
You would not.
10.
Uh, it doesn't seem like it was an especially pleasant surprise for him. He doesn't seem like he was thrilled about it.
Yeah, that checks out in Harlequinette's mind. So, I suppose I could give you a rundown of how the others are doing as far as I know, if you'd like.
That would. Yeah, that would probably be good. Since,
I know.
I couldn't actually see for myself.
Well, they're all due to the fire. Oh, should I even tell you this? Honesty. Let's go with honesty. They're currently adopting new vessels that you might be able to guess what those new vessels are, given some events.
So that's why they're staying here.
Yes. They're going to adapt the endos into new bodies, and the process has already begun, but it's still going. I keep trying to get them to get some of the joy from the PartyPlex, but they're resistant, and I can't say I necessarily blame them. I don't know how to explain it, but going from all fear diet to so many emotions again, it's sort of like, I don't know, like, uh, what's an apt metaphor? It's like, I guess, like people with hypothermia, they get so cold that you have to reintroduce them to heat slowly, or else bad things could happen. It's sort of like that, but I don't think bad things would actually happen. It just feels weird absorbing those sort of emotions again. Uh, anyway, I think I have the most faith in Bear Trap, turning around. He's been fairly docile and, well, best described as ambivalent, really, but he hasn't caused any trouble. He's just been kind of being himself. Yay!
Luke is just staring at Harlequinette.
Uh, Night Owl has been being docile too. They just like reading. I've been bringing them books, and somehow they're also getting more books, which I've been a little bit worried about. But if they're just sneaking out to get more books, then I guess that's not a big issue. Uh,
You want to roll insight?
yeah. I'm betting looks like not a big issue. 18.
Yeah, as soon as Harlequinette brings up Night Owl, Luke kind of tenses and uh you can just tell he's like grimacing a little under the mask, looking away. Like he's listening, but he doesn't really want to hear it.
Uh, am I upsetting you again?
No, it's good to know what they're all up to.
Yes, anyway, for Fair Trap Night Owl, I have to say Buskill isn't really made any improvement since last you saw them, but it's not like they're worse. They're just still, gone.
And
Uh,
that leaves Hairwire.
yep, the, the rabbit in the room, other than that other rabbit, which he might be working with, um, he's, I will say, for 4-ish years, he was fairly okay. He would prank people a little bit by putting his endo body in places it shouldn't be, but he didn't do anything reckless until the whole Rogue Endo shabacle, and I think he was trying to celebrate his, in the kind of air quote, birthday. I'm not sure if you noticed, but that day happened to coincide with the day, that, we, uh, the kind of gesture at Luke and, got out. He didn't want us thinking about what we did to you, so he tried to make it a happier occasion by declaring it his birthday, and then we kind of could focus on that little falsehood, and then now I guess he thinks of it as his actual birthday because he's cuckoo bananas, yay! And now he's decided to go rogue on it and cause a mess because I guess we weren't celebrating it hard enough the previous years. I don't know. That could have been when. I don't know if he either met Rava before or after that, but that certainly could have gotten her eyes on him. A rogue endo kind of seems like the thing that would appeal to uh, a malicious individual.
Oh,
You
I'll
doing
take your
okay
word
there?
for it.
Could you repeat that sentence?
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. This is. I wish I knew more concretely the exact situation. He's been doing more graffiti and acting out more, so I don't know if it's a coincidence or if she's feeding him information that's making him go act out or what, but if he was calm for forest years, then I can make him calm again.
If you say so.
Your doubt is quite literally palpable. Uh,
No, really? I
I
can't
think they kind of
imagine
wave their hand in the
why.
air like, you stop that. The sarcasm doesn't exactly help me, Luke.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm not here to help.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Fair enough, but you came here for a reason. I'm just going to try and talk with the others. I'm really hoping only Hairwires interacted with Rara and I can avoid the others getting wrapped up in whatever that is. I would hope Beartrap and Night Owl would have the sense not to help. I'm a little bit worried that if Night Owl is in less of a good mental state, they could be deceived into helping.
You're really not giving me a lot of faith in them.
I I'm I have to hope, but I don't have a lot other than hope. Again, I feel like I just need to find their something to make them better. I had to learn to be responsible. I've been trying to figure out what maybe character development they need to get better. It's stagnation. The situation doesn't change, so they haven't had a chance to figure out how to change themselves. But there's not a lot that can change when they're just stuck in a pizzeria basement.
I feel like this is in character silence, and Luke is just like looking.
Harlequinette just looking back, I'm not helping my case here, but I literally don't have a case other than that I want them to get better. I just feel like in the back of Harlequinette's mind, it's like, would it be rude to use the argument that all life has value?
I mean, if that's what they want to say.
I'm, I'm not sure they want to say that as the thing, but they're thinking it, and they're like, I can't say that to a zombie man. I can't say that to a zombie man who's technically a zombie because of my and all the others' action. That would
Mm-hmm.
go horribly wrong.
Yeah,
But all life does have value, right? Right?
say,
That's a good moral to say.
saying that to a guy you kind of killed is probably not gonna go over well.
They're just shelving that argument, like, okay, if I have to convince other people not to kill the night terrorists, maybe that's what I'll use. But this guy, no, no, yeah, I think they just kind of awkwardly tap their fingers together while maintaining eye contact with Pigs. Just unblinking.
You really have no idea what you're doing with them, huh?
Forgive me if there's not really a lot of books about the subject of redeeming your crazed family. I am just kind of going off of what worked for me, and I'm not them, and I don't know if it's going to work, but they've at least been, other than lately, they were okay, and I thought maybe I was making progress, so I'm not ready to give up that hope yet. Again, I'll talk to them, I'll try and stop them from doing anything. I'm significantly worried about how the future might go, but I have to think it'll get better in some way.
Well, it would be nice if you're right.
I can't help but think we're talking in circles. I have hope, you have none. If I fail, you kill them.
Yeah, I think that about sums it up.
Well, I hope I'm right and that you don't have to do the deed. I can't help but interpret your willingness as eagerness, but I know that's probably wrong. I hope that's probably wrong.
The only thing I'm eager for is to stop having to worry about what they're doing.
You could just stop that and go away, you know. You could stop following us in the news. No one is forcing you to do this.
But everything you guys do is kind of my fault, isn't it?
Only if you want to look at it that way. You made us, but look, think of it this way. It's just we're our own people, okay? We're our own people. We're not your toys anymore, Luke, and we're not your problem if you don't want us to be.
You say that like it's easy to stop caring.
If you care, then you would stop trying to burn us alive.
I did that once.
Well, it sounds kind of like you're going to try to do it again or something similar, and I just. I know I'm not included in it anymore because I'm changed, but there's still people I don't know. Are we really going with the death penalty here?
I mean, think about what the alternative is. If they get
I know,
caught.
prison. I know, I would freak them the hell out. I know. Oh, once again, there's a little censor bleep, and they slap themselves in the face. Like, I cannot have a serious conversation under these voice box conditions. They just
Do you
drag
think
that hand down their face and look at Luke and go, well,
do you think that would be kinder for them? Do you think they would like that anymore? Do you think that would be better for them
I
to be
don't
locked up
think it would.
again?
I don't know. I haven't been captured again ever, so I don't know how I would have reacted, and I don't know how they'll react. And yes, I can assume it would be bad, but I don't know if death is a kinder option. I don't know what will happen if we die for real. Do toys get an afterlife, Luke? Or are we real enough to go to an afterlife? Do we have souls? Will we just be stuck in the dream realm forever?
I don't know.
Isn't that the problem that started this all? Well, not all, but they kind of look at Luke's body state and we don't know what will happen if you die. So we did that to you, and we don't know what will happen if we die. I really thought the fire would be the end when it was burning me up, but then I survived and the others were shadows and I can't help but hope maybe that means we can't die and we don't even have to worry about what happens next. But if we can't die, then all you would be doing is hurting us.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that again.
I hope, I hope, I hope.
Is there anything else we want them to talk about?
I kind of feel like we've run the course on the main stuff that they would be willing to bring up.
Mm-hmm. I know Harlequinette has that card they wrote for Lucas back on his birthday. Is that
Oh,
something
would
they
they
would
give
bring
it
up
to him
now,
right
or?
now? I think, yeah, I think after like a long pause, I never wrote out what would actually be on that card, so you have to just imagine it would be something touching. But I think after a long pause, they kind of like lower their arms. It's like, hold on a sec, I'll be back. And they go into their back room there. And you
Yeah.
can hear them moving some stuff around, and they come back with a sealed card envelope and hand it to Luke. And then they just kind of like shrug and say, I'm going to go get some fresh air. And they start walking off to go up onto the PartyPlex rooftop.
Yeah. I should probably get back to patrolling anyway.
Have a nice night, Luke.
Sure. You too, Harlequinette. He's gonna tuck the envelope like into his pocket and walk off.
Oh boy. I feel like Harlequinette just, settles on the roof and looks at the stars and just is sort of like, oh, where do we go from here?
Where indeed? Oh, I think that's it.
I think that's a good stopping point. They've both had quite the conversation.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
We should stop the recording. Uh,
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening.
yeah.
Enjoy
Bye.
the
Oop.
the pain. Bye.